Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to a special edition of The Left Wing. I am TJ Whitehead, Power Taken Not Given, joined as always by John Cooper Paz with Counterpoint Politics, and we are also streaming on TikTok for the first time. How are you doing today, my friend?
This should be exciting, TJ. I remember like TikTok is where I started doing live streams, and it's a very different beast on there. It is when I was doing it, it was all just me talking to the camera and hoping that I get audience members to come in and engage with me. And that was always exhausting when you had a bad audience. But when you had good people coming on and talking to you, it was exhilarating. So that's what I'm hoping we're able to get here. And I'm being told that I have an echo, and I don't know why.
Oh, I heard it in the beginning, but since you put your headphones on, I don't hear an echo. So let us know if you still hear it, Colby. Generally, with my TikToks, I very rarely did guests on my TikToks, unless I knew the guests. Like I brought them on to, discuss stuff we wanted to play about and everything. But mostly it was me just ranting at the camera. So this will be interesting. I like to get both our options here. But it's been a while since we've done a show. We had some incidents pop up the last couple times we were trying to air. So everything been all right with you, John? How's your week been going?
Week's been going good. Just technology wise, as you can tell, my camera's not fucking working, so got to fix that. But there's always something, PJ. It never works exactly the way you want. And I am hearing my echo as well, and I have no idea why.
Very strange. Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. This week's been like really rainy and stuff down here. I've been doing all right besides that. Still recovering from the knee surgery. It's funny going into the orthopedic place. I'm the only person, south of 70 years old there every time I go. So it's kind of fun. Like, oh, look at this guy. He's a baby and everything. But yeah, it's pretty good. Uh, I saw some. I just realized that with TikTok we can't show the videos either. That's
Yeah,
unfortunate.
we
But
can't. Yeah, that's just gonna
so
have to
yeah,
stay where it is.
yeah, that's all right. But did you see that Donald Trump has proposed a new currency, like new legal tender? Have you seen this?
Of course I have. Of course I have. He is proposing that we have a $250 Trump bill with his face on it, which of course he is, TJ. Like this is one of those things we talk about this all the time. There are reasonable arguments we can have with conservative Republicans, and then there's those arguments that we just cannot handle in good faith. This is one of them. There's no reason for the president to have his face on currency, a living president on our currency. We settled this many, 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 many years ago. And there's absolutely no reason other than pure cult-like behavior that anyone would support a living president putting his face on money. No Democrat is going to go out there and say Biden should have put his face on the money. There's no fucking way. It would have never happened, and Fox News have had an uproar. So what's different here? You're just playing. You're rooting for your own laundry here if you support this.
I I don't know. It's kind of funny. Let's see. Pront BR says, Pront. By the way, Pront BR, how do you say this name? Let us know. Every time I say it a different way. I'm not sure if I'm looking at it the wrong way or whatever. Will that $250 bill be used for anything other than snorting nose candy? I know. Think about this is it's a vanity project with Trump already. Like it going in because of course he's that kind of guy. But when would you ever need to use a $250 bill? I remember learning that the bill denominations when I was a kid. Washington on the 1, Jefferson on the 2, Lincoln on the 5, Hamilton on the 10, Jackson on the 20, Grant on the 50, Franklin on the 100. And then I think there was a $500 bill. I think like Grover Cleveland was on it or something. I think there was something crazy like a $100,000 bill that had Wilson on it, I think. And these bills were only used for bank transactions, pretty much. Like, so if banks were funding money through themselves, whatever, because no normal human being would ever use it. And I was just like, when would you ever use a $250 bill? now they don't even make those giant bills anymore. Those like 100,000 because you have digital currency now. There's no need for it. People barely use cash at all. It is 1,000,000% a vanity project. And no one cares. No one cares. Like they asked Scott Bessent about it. He says, "Listen, right now the law says you can't put a living president or any living person on our currency, but we have some congressional, stuff in the works to see if we can change that law just because Trump wants it." What? As far as like the harmful things Trump has done, it's low on the list, but it is like this is just his vanity. So what are you gonna do?
It is definitely like of all the Trump things, it is both among the least harmful and the least defensible. There's just absolutely no reason for it. There's no good argument for it. And if it happens, I won't actually care because it doesn't hurt anyone. And it would be fun if I was a cocaine head, what coke head, I would use that bill to snort my coke. But those days, one singular day, are long behind me. I think Kobe had a wonderful comment. Said that he would happily support Trump on a bill following the current rules. I would too, Kobe, and I will not say anything more than that while being recorded. We got some comments here. I definitely drop in the comments if you guys have any questions for us and anything we want to talk about. Also, we are streaming on TikTok. If you want to get on the show, we are allowing people who want to be a guest on our show to basically call in like it's Sports Talk Radio by joining our live stream and requesting to be a guest. Happy to have you on as well.
I've not seen any comments on TikTok, which is really weird.
I know I'm only getting one person on TikTok right now.
That's so strange. I wonder if they can hear because of our volume. Can you guys hear us on TikTok? I suppose my volume is turned down. I don't know if that may affect the microphone or not, but I don't know why no one said anything. That seems strange. Let's see. Did Trump do something similar like the Trail of Tears? I don't know what that means.
Because Andrew Jackson.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Let's see. And hearts. And why are you trying to demean your own wonderful country? What is, I don't understand.
It is weird. Like people will be like, "This is demeaning," when you're just criticizing your country.
Oh, okay.
Like the whole like you can't take pride in something that you also are critical of. Like, no, you have to be critical of it if you're taking pride in it. Like, unless you are absolutely perfect. Like, if you were to talk to the top level professional athletes, right? Like the absolute best of the best in the entire world, they would all tell you a litany of criticisms of their own game that they are acutely aware of. And that is how they became the best possible version of whatever they're doing. So why, when it comes to politicians or parties or countries, are we so averse to ever having internal criticism? It's just like the fucking DNC autopsy that we didn't even get a chance to talk about.
Oh, God, yes.
Where they released the autopsy and it's unfinished. And they're like, oh, guys, by the way, we're just releasing this because you made us. We really don't stand by any of it, and it's unfinished. And I had a whole slew of people, blue MAGA types, going, well, they said they weren't going to release it because it wasn't good, and then it wasn't good, and you're clowning on it for being not good. We got midterms to in November. Why are we focusing on this? And it's because this is the way that you get better. You are self-critical. Every sports team in America, from high school to professional athletes, watch bad game film in order to improve. Why we hold our party that is fighting fascism to a lower standard than my high school football coach held me is inconceivable.
I haven't seen a lot of people. Actually, I haven't seen a whole lot of people defending the DNC on this or whatever. But I'm shocked anyone said, because I don't know what conclusion you can come to that isn't negative for how the DNC handled this. Because I mean, I assumed that they held it back because there was something in there they didn't want people to see, which I guess turned out to be the case. It was actually worse than I would have guessed. I thought that they had some information there saying that, yeah, we shouldn't we shouldn't have been so antagonistic toward the anti-war pro-Gaza folks. It wasn't that at all. It was just sloppy. It was just garbage. Yeah. It was just stuff there that was just absolutely wrong. And I was like, oh no, that says a lot. That speaks a lot worse of your organization, that when you lost the presidential election to Donald J. Trump, like a known quantity in politics at the time. This isn't like 2016 when Trump snuck up on people and people weren't taking him seriously. You knew how serious of a threat Trump was. You knew like so much that you ousted your original candidate, replaced him with someone else, and then you lose. You want to make damn sure you fine-tooth comb exactly what happened there. And what was the guy's? What's the guy's name? Ken, the new DNC chair. I can't remember his name. Martin or something. But he gave the job to a buddy of his who just slapped something together, probably used AI or something, and then churned out a horrible product. I see why he didn't want to release it. I wouldn't want to release that either. But if it was shitty, you could just do it again, right? When I heard this, like, yeah, just like, no, buddy, this is unacceptable. Either do this again, or actually, you're fired. We're getting someone else because I'm not turning this over to the DNC, and more certainly not to the American people. And what makes this really insulting is when he was being grilled by the Pod Save America guy saying, why won't you release this data? All he was saying is, well, listen, the important thing is that we learn the lessons from this study. And then when he releases the study, he says, hey, sorry, the study is so bad. I don't co-sign this. This is awful. The guy's got to go. He's been on the job 10 minutes, but if this is how you're going to handle your job, you don't need to be there, Mr. Martin.
I know, right? And people act like it's no big deal. Like I have written essays right up to a deadline overnight in a single night that had less errors and were making a more cohesive argument than this professional autopsy was. Like, there was no excuse for releasing it in the state that it was in. You could have just fixed it up. Like, at the very least, you could have made it comprehensible, but you didn't. You just left mistakes in there. Like, it's just unprofessional, TJ. The very baseline, it is unprofessional. Speaking of unprofessional things by the DNC, though, did you see the Democrats' wonderful tweet reply today?
No. Reply to what?
Oh, they replied to Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller quote tweeted them saying something like, James Tallarico is the first transgender candidate for a Texas Senate seat or something. And they were like, shut up, you ugly fuck.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I did see that.
What were your thoughts on it?
More of that, please. We need to realize the game we're playing now. People keep thinking this is 1988 or something, and we're in this old game of politics. More and more politicians are waking up to this, but this is just how it is. I wish it wasn't this way. I wish that we weren't, that Trump hasn't coarsened the rhetoric of our culture to the extent that he has, but this is how people talk. This is how, and honestly, this is more in line with how the world actually is, and like the fake presentation that was set up, by the baby boomers back in the day. This is just how people are. And so, yeah, you can get out there, you can throw some mud, you can sling, because what we always say about Trump is what people like about Trump. You corner a Trump supporter, they're not going to be able to give you like a structured analysis of Trump's thought process, his philosophy, his political beliefs. They can't do that. But they do know, oh, this guy seems to have the affectation of someone who's on my team, and I know he's going to fight. I know he's going to fight for me. That's all you need. That's all you need. And yeah, Stephen Miller, I can't think of a better target than going after someone like Stephen Miller. I don't think that's going to come back to bite you in any way.
Exactly. And the one thing I said about it was, if Republicans had any sort of integrity, they would attack the tweet, not for being having a lack of decorum, because come on, guys.
Yeah, come on.
We can't take you seriously if you're actually going to make an argument like that, which they are, of course. They're clutching their pearls. But you could attack it on the grounds of being unoriginal. And that would be a perfectly valid attack angle on that tweet, because it's pretty basic ass bitch stuff. But that's the thing, TJ. We don't even get that from the Democrats very often. Like, it was encouraging to see at least some rogue social media head posting vulgarity on Twitter from the Democrats, because that's the issue, is that by standing by traditional norms of decorum, it signals to the American people that things are traditional and normal, and they are not. This is the same stuff I said about the State of the Union address. They should either not attend or have mass protests when they do. Under no circumstances should they treat anything that Donald Trump is doing as if he is the president of the United States. They should act like he is a loser. They should give him zero respect. They should give him zero decorum. Everyone in his administration should be laughed at and protested or just ignored entirely. That is the only way to actually fight these people. But by pretending that there's any reason to treat him like the president of the United States, like, why? What are you doing it for? What do we have to gain from this?
Yeah, what is your goal here? I don't know. The Democrats have, and look, it's hard to say that they are completely wrong, because their calculation early on, since Trump was elected the second time, was, hey, just give the guy enough rope to hang himself. That's what we're going to do here. And look, that's exactly what he has been doing, but credit where credit's due. But that's not enough to inspire people to vote for you. Because the problem that they have is that they're treating Trump like an aberration. That this, like Trump is the cancer, and once he's gone, we can work back with the Republicans like normal. And the regular Trump is the Republican Party now. That's it. Like, if that wasn't clear to you, what we've seen over the last couple of weeks of all these primaries has sealed the deal. It's sealed the deal. Like, you're not dealing with the rational actors that you think you're dealing with. You're dealing with a group of fanatics that are following a cult leader. You should treat them like it. You should treat them like it. When they ask you a stupid question, insult them, demean them, deflect. This is the only language they understand. I hate to say it. I hate to say that's what they're doing, but you would. Yeah, you're trying to play chess with a pigeon here. You're going to lose every time.
Yeah, and I don't know, TJ. It's all simple stuff to us. We don't get paid for this, though. We're not the Ken Martins of the world who get to just release unfinished autopsies that say nothing. We just have to sit here and watch these people who get put in positions to fight for us that have no idea what the fuck they're doing. I'm so upset about this Echo, TJ, because I have no fucking idea where it could possibly be coming from right now. It doesn't make any sense in the entire world why there is an Echo. I'm in my headphones. There's no speakers. I don't know what it is.
Very weird. Yeah, my sound is off too. The TikTok thing is creeping me out too, John, because we've been live for like 15 minutes now. No one said anything. This is so.
We had Huge Ass comment something. I did see Huge Ass
on your TikTok.
Yeah, on my TikTok. I don't know if they're the same TikTok. I don't know if we're like part of the same thing right now, but
I think it's two separate ones. I think at least from the feeds will be okay. All right. Well, at least someone can hear us. Okay.
Well, we are trying the TikTok thing. So again, people who are in the comments right now on YouTube, definitely, if you want to join on the TikTok, you are free to do so, and we will be taking guests if anyone does request us. Let's get to the comments here because we did have some questions here. Specifically, I liked this one. Thoughts on Iran? They're assholes. I like that one a lot. That should just be the entire thought on Iran. They're assholes, the entire country.
Did you see that the Trump administration and Iran have, I can't know how to put it, they've gotten to an agreement about a memorandum of understanding about a 60-day ceasefire. Have you seen this? That has not been approved by Trump. Have you seen this?
Yeah, TJ, I've stopped following the details of any given quote unquote ceasefire agreement. They all are fake.
Yeah.
We've been doing this with Israel for years now. But Israel currently has a ceasefire agreement that they are blatantly ignoring. They just said today that they plan to take over 70% of the Gaza Strip. They have a ceasefire agreement. It's the same agreement that like we all reported on and said, hey guys, there's a ceasefire. Hooray. And nothing changed. Like these ceasefire agreements, it's not even theater because no one watches. I guess it is kind of theater then. But like it's meaningless. There's no until the Strait of Hormuz is returned to normal, which it will not be. I'm really hoping Mark joins us so we can hammer out the details of this bet. But it's not going to be over. It's not. We are just living through forever wars again, and it's a different variety than the last ones because we're pretending they're not happening now. Like during the Iraq War, no one went, "We're actually having a ceasefire. There is no war going on." But right now, that's what we're doing with both Israel and Gaza and Lebanon and Iran. Like everyone in the Middle East, we're in a ceasefire deal, and we're still fighting each other.
It has been really funny watching this, John, because it's the same playbook. Like every few days or so, Trump comes out and says, we're going to hit Iran with everything we've got. We're going to obliterate them. We are going to destroy the nation. We're going to, bomb the place until it's a parking lot. And then the next day he says, oh, okay, the Iranians are begging for a deal now. They're on their knees. They're just, they can't wait for us to make a deal. We got them right where we want them. And then will be a lull and everything. He says, okay, we're still talking about the details. And then Trump will say something like, well, the Iranians are being unreasonable. We got to bomb them to hell again. And then the cycle keeps repeating itself. It's every week. It's the same shit every single week. I don't believe anyone does believe it. I don't know why they keep doing it. The American people aren't going to put up with this much. I guess they will. They don't have a choice but to put up with it. But watching Trump's numbers just tank lower and lower and lower again, I saw that Trump's approval rating for Republicans for gas prices was at like 45% or something. It was like below 50% that they thought that Trump actually was hurting the economy and hurting gas prices. It doesn't matter. He's still going to be president for 3 more years. But he's just going to keep rolling this playbook because it keeps working. And this is the one time he's actually not going to. I don't know what's going to happen because he said, what did he say? He doesn't care about the midterms. Did you see that clip where he said he doesn't care about what happens in the midterms?
I did not see that at all. No, I did see the clip where he said, "I don't care about Americans' personal financial situations."
Yeah, yeah.
Which is also just spectacular. But I did not care about the midterms. Although he is acting like he doesn't, so I believe him.
Okay, yeah. Here we go. Actually, I'll play this. I'll pull this up right here. This is at the cabinet meeting he had. It was one of those, our favorite, John, one of those sycophantic cabinet meetings where people just slob on Trump the entire thing. I'm not out the clip of that, but this is him being asked about, at least I think this is the clip. Here we go.
Their economy is in free fall. They have 250% inflation. Their money has no value. Their whole economic system is broken down. They thought they were going to outweight me. You know, we'll outweight him. He's got the midterms. I don't care about the midterms. Look what happened last night. That was the prelude to the midterms. People understand it. They know that, very simple, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I'm doing that for the world. I'm not doing it just for us.
Okay, so Trump's statement there is that he does not care about the midterms. Now, the way he phrased it, he's saying is that he doesn't care about the midterms because he knows that the midterms are in the bag because his endorsements keep winning these Republican primaries. What do you think about that, John? I actually titled this, Is Trump Going to Turn Texas Blue? Like, is Trump pushing people to the left? And you know my opinion about Texas turning blue. But do you think that, what is this a sign of in the November elections with Trump's candidates winning overwhelmingly in these primaries?
I think it's very funny because it's a sign that they're going to get their asses handed to them. Again, this isn't just me being a homer. Anyone who's watched this show for a long time will know that I am not a homer. I mean, I wouldn't call myself a pessimistic person, but I will give the Democrats their shit anytime I think that they deserve shit. And they do deserve shit right now. But fortunately for them, the Republicans deserve far more shit. Americans are very, very angry at Trump. His approval rating is entering toxic levels. Yes, he's winning primaries with Republicans, but when those more Trump-aligned Republicans are going into the general, they're going to get their asses handed to them. We have been seeing monstrous. We've been seeing Democrats win in districts that have been up to Trump plus 15 in the elections that have happened so far. And it's only going to get worse by November because gas prices are going to keep going up. The war in Iran is still going to be going on. All of the things that are making Americans angry right now are going to still be persisting. And we have people like Ken Paxton who are just atrocious. They're the most easily attackable candidates you possibly can, going up against people like James Tallarico, who, even in a red state like Texas, he's the Democrat you want to run there. Squeaky clean, super religious dude. The only thing they got against him is, I guess, like they can run, he's going to bring back abortion, but they already got that settled. Like, it's kind of not even that much of a animating selling point at this point now that Texas can do whatever the fuck they want with abortion. So I don't know, TJ. I think that Texas will go blue, at least in that race. In the midterms, I would actually be surprised if they didn't, because they're currently polling about neck and neck, and I think things are just going to get worse for Republicans between now and then.
I think that things are going to get worse for Republicans. I don't think that Tallarico is going to win that race. I don't think he is, because Texas always lets me down. Always. Texas has never come through for me, and I don't know, like, the Ken Paxton thing, though, John, like, this reminds me a lot of well, actually, the example I'm thinking of the Democrats did pull through was in Alabama. What was his name? Roy Moore. Roy Moore was up for Senate in Alabama several years ago. He was a Republican, and he had been charged with, well, not charged, but he had an allegation from like 30 years ago or something, where he was in his late 20s or early 30s, and he apparently had a relationship with a girl like in 9th grade or something. And they said, whoa, okay, this guy is a pedophile right here. And that became national news. And he lost to a Democrat, I think Doug Wilson, I think his name was, something like that. It was a close race too. That's what it took. That's how much the red state is just beholden to these guys. Not Tallarico, but Paxton is a similar case here in that he's a terrible person. He like cheated on his wife or several wives, I think. He was pulled up for securities fraud. He was impeached by Republicans. Like this isn't like some Democrat, some left wing conspiracy that hey, this guy's a bad person, this guy's a terrible politician. His career was over. It was done. He was impeached like something like 90% of his own party turned on him before this election. But since he's a Trump sycophant and Trump backed him, now all of a sudden he's there. Now he's their big champion. I still think the Republicans will come through and push him through, but it is a bad sign that Trump's people are taking over because Trump's endorsement only works in the Trump primary or in the Republican primaries. Once it gets to the general, they get crushed. This happens election after election after election. Think of people like Herschel Walker. Think of I can't think of the guy's name in New Hampshire, but he was a Republican that Trump had backed. He was a guy who was backing proposals like we need to get rid of direct election of senators. He thought that senators should be elected by state legislators and not by the people. I don't think it's a good sign for Republican or a good sign for Trump and Republicans in the future. But I don't think Texas will turn blue. This is something that I say all the time. But holy shit, we have a lot of comments here. I just realized, my God,
plenty of comments to go on about. We have a couple guys just going at it. I can tell 1-star rating. And someone he's calling DA, but I don't know who that is because it's not how it looks to me on my end. But I love this one. Just always love to address this one. That Obama gave Iran billions in cash and uranium. See, here's the thing. Again, you can look this up. It's a matter of historical record. The cash that Obama gave to Iran was Iran's cash. It was their money. They were suing us to reclaim their money with interest. And Obama struck a deal where we were able to give them back their money without interest. And it was a massive win. And it prevented them from developing nuclear weapons. We had American watchdogs making sure the uranium they were enriching was not being turned into nuclear weapons. And then Trump ripped up that deal. And the watchdogs are gone. And they still had the cash. And now we're here. Because Trump is just clawing and scraping his way to get back to where Obama had us already settled and done with Iran. And they're never going to strike the same deal again because why would they?
They wouldn't. I want to shout out to All Religious Rejects. He just sent me a heart on TikTok. Thank you. I love All Religious Rejects account. He has some good stuff there. So this is actually a new one for me, John, where that person said that Obama supplied Iran with billions of dollars and uranium. Where would Barack Obama get uranium? How would he, and why would he give it to the Iranians? How did that? You tell me how the transfer of radioactive material happened, that we sent it from the United States to Iran. I'd love to know the answer to that. Another big question here, John, by Moist and Ready. Is John single?
John is not single. But I did send that comment to my wife and just told her that she had competition. So moist and ready. I'm moist and ready when you are.
All right. And so I guess altogether, John, what is your opinion on Iran? What is your opinion? That comment is pretty good right there. I guess I'll give mine. I've been talking about Iran for a long time. It's been one of my favorite topics since I started doing TikTok, specifically the Iran nuclear deal, because when people ask, hey, what's your problem with Donald Trump? It's kind of a question that might catch you off guard because there's so many different ways to go. But the easiest one for me has always been the Iran nuclear deal, long before the current conflict with Iran ever took off. Because like John mentioned, Obama had in place this deal with the Iranian government saying, hey, listen, we don't want you guys to have a nuclear weapon. That scares us. And since we're the arbiters of who gets nuclear weapons and who doesn't, you guys got to work with us, and you stay within these parameters, and we'll play ball, and we'll release your assets that we froze back in 1979. And the Iranians said, okay, you got a deal. And it worked. This is the thing, it worked. You can check the progress on this. They kept very close tabs on this. That was part of the deal. And the Iranians, I think you need 60% enrichment for your uranium in order for it to be at weapons grade level. During the time they were under the JCPOA, they never reached 4%. Their enriched uranium never reached 4%. The second Trump ripped it apart, shot up. Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it? Trump has essentially guaranteed that the Iranian government will develop a nuclear weapon in our lifetime. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. So when you look at it from that point of view, the Iranians are doing the only logical thing out there, right? They're doing something to protect themselves. They know that Saddam Hussein, Muammar Gaddafi, they did not have nuclear weapons. Look what happened to them. They know that Kim Jong Il or Kim Jong Un does have a nuclear weapon, and people don't mess with him. They said, okay, if we get a nuclear weapon, they're going to leave us alone. This is not an endorsement of the Iranian regime, that they're good people, that I support their policies. It's nothing like that. But I'm just saying they are doing what everyone could predict what would happen if we decide to go into a conflict that we cannot win. The reason that we're at this weird stalemate now is because the terrain and the government and the size of the population and the strength of the institutions of the country of Iran are a million times stronger than what we faced in Iraq. And we were in Iraq forever, okay? That if we decided to go into Iran, in fact, I would say we've already kind of lost. Anything other than a victory against a country like Iran is a loss. We have made Iran 10 times stronger than it was at the beginning of this year. They control the Strait of Hormuz now. They are never going to let it go. Why would they? This is this is not about rooting for Iran or against Iran. This is just prediction of what is obviously going to happen, and that is the waning of U.S. power in the region and the strengthening of Iran's power in the region.
100% agreed, TJ. I love Stuart here because he says, how do you know all this, Mr. Host? I mean, first of all, Stu, his name's right there. Secondly, you're clueless what Iran has. You can Google all of this. You can look all of this up. Every single thing TJ just said is verifiably true. And it's funny you say that because you also said that Hillary Clinton supplied it when she was in his administration. Google it. I did Google it, Stuart. And I Googled, did Hillary Clinton supply Iran with uranium? Again, AI overview here. I'm not saying it's for sure 100% true. But the first thing that pops up on Google is, no, Hillary Clinton did not supply Iran with uranium. There is no evidence, official investigation, or credible report supporting the claim that she or the U.S. State Department provided uranium to Iran. So I did Google it. I did it. There you go. That's what Google says. And for the common sense out there, why the fuck would we supply Iran with uranium? I can't even understand why that would be part of the deal. Like that we give them uranium. They can get uranium. The uranium in and of itself is not a problem. Like that is not the issue. Like uranium is not some like rock. If you throw it hard enough, it's going to create a nuclear explosion. Like that's not how any of this works. Just wanted to put that out there for anyone who's confused about what uranium even is.
I want to know, like, what do you guys think? Like, do you think Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama are like nuclear physicists? I don't understand what they mean by they gave them the uranium. Well, what is this? It's such a strange concept. I don't know where it comes from, but yeah, like enriching uranium is a complex process. You need people who are highly specialized in it. Look, this isn't. Look, I don't expect people to know how the shit works or whatever, but just having enriched uranium doesn't really do anything either unless you know what to do with it. In fact, going to a different conflict, the reason that we're not in conflict, we're supplying Ukraine with weapons, goes back to the 1990s when the Soviet Union fell. And when the Soviet Union fell, it had all these Eastern Bloc nations, some of them had nuclear weapons. Ukraine was one of them. Now, the country of Ukraine had nuclear weapons, but they had no qualified nuclear physicists to monitor this radioactive material. They didn't know what to do with it. And it's just dangerous. It just sits there for a while with no one taking care of it. So the United States made a deal with Ukrainians saying, okay, we will take these nuclear weapons off your hands. They said, okay, well, now that leaves us in an even more vulnerable position now that we don't have the nuclear weapons. And the United States says, okay, in the event that you're attacked by Russia, we will come to your defense. That's why we're there in the first place. This stuff isn't just something you just lay around. Oh, here you go. Here's your enriched uranium. Good luck with it. It's a really difficult process, but of course I don't expect people to think much about it because it requires some brain power or whatever. What comment did we?
Winnie's Rock says hi from High, Texas. So Winnie's is punk rock. We like that. I like that a lot. I have no idea who you are. I don't know where High Texas is, but I'm glad to get a hi from there. That is for sure. And Hugh Jass said, "Are you guys Costco guys?"
What?
I'm not a Costco guy because me and my wife live together without anyone else, and Costco is 40 minutes away, and it's just not worth the cost of membership because we don't buy in bulk that much because we don't eat that much. But I do like Costco. I think of the like big corporations, Costco is one of the better ones. Would you agree, TJ?
That's what I hear. I'm not a huge Costco guy. I've been there a few times. I knew a guy whose girlfriend worked there, and she raved about how good they treated their employees and everything. So yeah, I've heard decent thing about Costco. I have no personal complaints about them. Weird question. Like, why would they ask you about Costco? I don't know where that came from.
I'm assuming there's a punchline there, but and sorry, wine is punk rock. I see the comment there, so my bad.
No, I wanted to give a shout out to Mr. Fuzz on TikTok. He wrote, "If Ukraine had nukes, Russia wouldn't have attacked. If Iran had nukes, we wouldn't have attacked." That's true. And Mr. Fuzz says, "Costco is my definition of civilization. If you don't have one, you don't live in the sticks." This is funny. Mr. Fuzz lives in Alaska. I want to point out, which I assumed all of Alaska was the sticks. I mean, like Alaska is the largest. Alaska is massive for people who don't know. Alaska is the biggest state by far. It's like 3 Texases or something like that. It's huge. And he says they have 5 Costco's. Okay, it's Alaska. But I mean, the population density is just nothing there. It's like a different planet or something like that. But okay, I'll take your word for it. That's good stuff.
And there was a comment earlier. I started, but I forget where it is. One star rating said a random person picked from anywhere would be a better president than Donald Trump. And that was actually I like that question a lot because I actually think this version of Donald Trump is the only president ever that I would just go to the random person pile. Even Trump won. Like when Trump first got the presidency, if you were to have asked me, would you pick a random person over Donald Trump? I would say no, because a random person could be anyone. It could be a 3-year-old child. It could be the most evil person in the entire world. It could be the dumbest person in the entire world. And at least with Trump won, like he kind of stayed within the guardrails. And the dumbest person in the entire world, even then, would probably stay within the guardrails and be controlled by the powers that be within the U.S. government. Trump, too, is off the leash. He's just gone rogue and is dumb and is a narcissistic maniac, which is about as bad as you can get from the grab bag. Like you could maybe get worse, but your chances are you're going to get better. Your chances are, at the very worst, you will get Trump 1 again. And that is far better than Trump 2. Would you agree with that, TJ?
Yeah, I was trying to think of people who, like presidents in history, who I think a random person would be better. My go-to would be Andrew Johnson, because I think Andrew Johnson is the worst president we've ever had. I don't think anyone's topping him, just because Andrew Johnson was just like post-Civil War, like maybe the most important parts of the United States history from to that time period. Definitely the most important, and a man who just was not ready for the job, not up to the task. But it'd be random person in 1865, and yeah, they probably could have done just as bad of a job too. So yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe I think that Sam Harris had something about this. I remember him talking about Donald Trump back in 2016, where he said that essentially that he would trust your random person to be a better president than Donald Trump, because a random person would at least be overwhelmed with the humility and responsibility of, oh my God, I'm the president of the United States. I got to make sure to take shit seriously. Trump is limited by no such compulsion. And the best thought of this, once again, this is kind of silly, but it just encapsulates what we're dealing with here as a nation. John, I'm sure you've seen this image with with the UFC octagon being built in front of the White House. And look, I know that we always joke about the absurdity of all the decorum and the gravitas and the pomp and circumstance that we put on for politicians and these seats of power and everything. But really, man, some dignity is kind of important. I hate to live out on people, but it is really important to have this dignity. And I'm just imagining what a fucking eyesore, what just a tawdry mess this is going to be come June 14th, when we're going to have the UFC octagon and lasers and clowns and stuff all around from the White House. It's like, I can't believe this is happening. I genuinely cannot believe this is happening. But of course, with Donald Trump, anything is possible.
First of all, like they had a giant miss. It should have been in like the Chamber of Congress, like where they have the State of the Union. They should have just put the octagon right in the center there and had the crowd be in the fucking seats that the Congress sits in. That would have been the place to have this. It wouldn't have been an eyesore. It's already constructed. It would fit right there. It would have been wonderful. On the White House lawn, total eyesore. Doesn't make sense that it's there. And honestly, I don't care. Like, this is one of those things I don't care about. I would be generally supportive of something like this under different circumstances. Like, this isn't something I would say is like 100% no go. If you had an extremely popular president that had done a lot and they wanted to do this and people were generally cool with it, I'd be cool with it. Like, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. It just, while you have this unnecessary war with Iran going on, gas prices are skyrocketing, consumer sentiment in the economy is cratering. It's just not the time or place to do something like this. This is a victory lap for someone who is in last place right now. And it's cringe. It's cringy, and anyone who supports it, you're just rooting for your team without any reason to do so, because it's clearly not the time or place.
Oh, I disagree. It's not the time or the place. I don't think it's ever the place. I mean, having a giant octagon with guys beating each other's faces in front of the White House, that's terrible. That's all. Like, listen, if you want to have the victory lap, whatever, yeah, you can have the event. Yeah, hell, you can have it in Washington, D.C., but like on the White House lawn, man, it's just, remember when Trump did like a commercial for Tesla vehicles, like on the lawn of the White House? It's just gross. I don't know. I don't think it's ever the right place for that. It just seems like it beneath the dignity of the office. Fine, whatever. Like, I'm a lib. I don't care. It's just something that I don't appreciate at all.
It does like give like gladiatorial vibes.
Yeah.
It looks like bread and circuses, and just for the sake that it looks like bread and circuses, you just shouldn't do it. But I don't know. I've hated Trump's involvement with the UFC for so long now. It's hard to. I love MMA. I practice jiu-jitsu. Like, it is part of what I do, and it's difficult to watch the UFC anymore because of how political they've made it. And it is crazy because I think about like the Republicans who would say shit like, "Oh, I'm not going to watch the NFL anymore because they put end racism in the end zone."
Yeah.
And I'm like, I sort of sympathize with your position, except that like end racism was never overtly political until you made it that way. And also, it's a very different story than when the administration is extremely buddy-buddy with the organization putting on the sporting event, which was never the case with the NFL. The NFL never got buddy-buddy with the actual political administration. Say what you will about Kaepernick kneeling. That wasn't the NFL, buddy. That was just an individual practicing their free speech.
Yeah, they really hated that too. I always like to get their opinion, though, like why they're so upset about it. It's like, okay, well, and this is free speech to do it, right? This isn't, no one's forcing you to do anything. Oh, they actually hate free speech when it's just something they don't like. Especially when the NFL, like, come on, it's not like, I'm running out of course here, but I got distracted, John, because I was looking at the commentary. You're right, people are arguing in here, and it's hard to find out where it started or where it comes from. But what is happening?
I don't know. There's someone saying there are rainbow supremacists. If anyone wants to catch me up in the comments of what the beef is, because it's very difficult to parse from our end. I don't think there is a real actual argument going on. I think they're just throwing insults at each other, but would love to weigh in if we can.
Here's a good one. It says, Hillary, LMAO, Benghazi is all I got, and it's enough. This is great. So I remember this going on once. Like, John and I, anyone who's watched the show knows that John and I are, not the biggest Hillary Clinton fans out there. We're far from it. But the Benghazi thing fascinated me with how deep. They made a whole movie, talk about Benghazi and everything. They did years of investigations because essentially the story is that Hillary Clinton gave the order to let the workers in the Benghazi consulate die. Like, they said, okay, we have a team ready to go rescue these. I think it was 4 people to rescue these people. Hillary Clinton said, no, don't do it. And this is just what people believe. That's what they drug her in for deposition and inquiry and investigation, which led nowhere, by the way. Like, Hillary Clinton never went to jail for it, never was put on trial, was sentenced for this because it was bullshit. And I would hear guys in the Army talk about this all the time, saying, "Oh yeah, Hillary Clinton. She left our boys out to dry in Benghazi. She gave the order to the military to stand down." And if on a military installation, you walk into the battalion headquarters, every battalion, every brigade headquarters in the United States Army, the entire military actually has the same thing. It has your chain of command. It'll have your non-commissioned officer chain of command, your commissioned officer chain of command, and above that, they have like the brigade commander, battalion commander, and then you have the president of the United States. And the secretary of the Army, the secretary of defense, president of the United States. That's it. Those are the only people who give orders. They're going to be on that wall. Hillary Clinton is nowhere on that wall. The Secretary of State does not order the military to do anything. And it's a very simple concept, right? They know this. Like, because you guys look at the same wall every day when you go to work, but somehow Rush Limbaugh or whoever convinced you, yes, Hillary Clinton has control of the U.S. military and she dictated what happened in Benghazi. Insane. I still can't believe it's been, Jesus, how many, 12 years since this happened? They're still talking about this? It's kind of crazy.
And I love we have a guest of the show here, Mark. I'm so glad you're here, Mark. I've been wanting to talk to you. But Mark says, "Led nowhere like the Epstein files." It's just like, Mark, this is how it's difficult to take seriously. As TJ just said, there were multiple intense investigations. There were trials, nothing was ever found. With the Epstein files, there have been no investigations. There's been nothing. There has been absolutely no trial or anything related to the Epstein files. Like, I think we should all be able to agree every single person implicated in them should face the full weight of the U.S. government. And yet there hasn't been that. That's why it has led nowhere, because the Justice Department isn't taking it anywhere. That's the only reason it hasn't led nowhere. And yes, Biden's Justice Department didn't take it anywhere either. They're both to blame. But don't sit here, piss on my head, and tell me it's raining and say, yeah, it's led nowhere because nothing happened. I'm going to trust what the government is currently saying, that they have absolutely no reason to prosecute any other person besides Ghislaine Maxwell in relation to Jeffrey Epstein. He was just having sex with all of these minors on his own, and no one who came to his island did anything wrong. Like, if you truly believe that, Mark, I don't know what to tell you.
I'm curious of what Mark's thought is about the Epstein files, because is it Mark's assertion that the Epstein files are a hoax, that like, or not a hoax, as in like there's no there, because I didn't think that was correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, because if I remember correctly, when we had the original Epstein files phase 1 thing, like the binders came out where they had all the right-wing influencers there, and we were joking and clowning on it. Oh, they're obviously hiding more stuff. Mark said, well, hey, you're acting too quickly, guys, because there's more to this investigation. Pam Bondi had directed the what was the SDNY? What was that stand for? Southern District of New York. That they covered up some Epstein stuff. There's more stuff there. I thought Mark thought there was more stuff with Epstein, because I remember that ridiculous letter that she wrote to Kash Patel or to Dan Bongino saying, we need to investigate the SDNY because they're hiding more stuff here. Do you remember that, John, at all?
There's been so much, TJ.
Okay.
Like, yes, I remember what you're saying, but I can't remember the direct order of events how it happened here.
Okay, I thought Mark was saying that there was more, but maybe I don't know. That's one thing. But anyway, but with the Hillary Clinton thing, not only am I saying, I think it's different than the Epstein files too, because there couldn't have been anything there. Hillary Clinton did not have the constitutional authority to direct the military to do anything. She can say whatever she wants. Like, she can suggest anything she wants, but she's not part of the Department of Defense. She can't tell the military to stand down at all. So, yeah, that's just something I want to do.
So, anyway, I did want to get to what we were discussing with Mark last week, because, one, we were making a bet, and I wanted to get the details of that bet on record. And I believe, TJ, it was the Strait of Hormuz will not return to pre-war conditions. That is absolutely free flow of oil through the Strait of Hormuz without any sort of interference from the state of Iran, any sort of tolls, any sort of anything, within 6 months. Was that the bet that was discussed, TJ?
Yeah, Mark said that the Strait of Hormuz, Mark commented, TJ is such a Mark fanboy, remembering my bets and my words. Well, someone has to, Mark, because you're apparently unreliable when it comes to these things. No, last week Mark said that he thought the Strait of Hormuz would be open within 6 months. And I guess we didn't get clarification as to what he meant by that, because what I mean by it being open is exactly what John said, pre-war Strait of Hormuz, where you don't have to negotiate with the Iranian government. You don't got to negotiate with Oman or anything. You just like, oh, here you go. You want to go to the Strait? Go to the Strait. There's no stipulations. That's what I thought too. Oh, and Mark said yes. That's the bet. Okay, cool.
That's
And
the bet. All right,
yeah.
let's do it. What's the stakes here? What are we putting?
$20 to the charity of the winner's choice.
All right, and I wanted to clarify something, because after the show, Mark did email us, leftwingpod@gmail.com, talking about the previous bet that had been made. And he said, yes, there was that bet, and you, I forget exactly what he said, but basically that I backed out on it, right? And so I'm going to read the previous bet that was made.
Oh boy.
Because I'm reading straight from Mark's email. This is the email that he sent us back in March 14th, 2025. So this is the episode that we're talking about. Here's the quote. I said, I'll take the bet, Mark, if the bet is that has anyone been thrown in jail for not using pronouns or forced in some way to use pronouns, like from the state level, I will take that. And then you also say in America. And he responded by saying, do you think I'm stupid, John? Do you think I would take a bet on whether someone went to jail for using pronouns? Is that how dumb I am? Just like a rock. Or do you think I heard forced in some way to use pronouns like on a state level and thought about professors who were exactly on a state level and fit in perfectly with your words about power? Okay, so here's the thing, Mark. This is why the bet didn't count, because I did say thrown in jail. That was the bet that I had made. If you can find me evidence of the state putting someone in jail for not using pronouns, I will still donate to a charity of your choice. I will do it now to this day. But that wasn't the bet. Like, I didn't say any general, like, there's a reason I put that stipulation in. So you can say, I'm not going to make you donate to a charity of my choice. You can say, oh, I misunderstood. But don't tell me I reneged on the bet when I specifically set the terms of the bet. Just wanted to put that out there. I wanted to clear that up. Because I never responded to that email because I just didn't want to bother. But wanted to put that on the record.
Funny.
In case anyone's been wondering about this bet that was made a year ago, how this ended.
This is so funny because earlier today, John sent me a text. He goes, hey, TJ, did you get like a notification? I'm trying to get into the Left Wing email, and it like sent me a notification. Was this what it was for?
No, I was doing something else. That was the other email. That was the email we used to log into StreamYards, not the email leftwingpod@gmail.com that anyone can send us questions to, and we may or may not read them. But that was the bet. And yeah, to speak to that point also, like, college professors having to follow rules within by their employer is not the same thing as the state forcing them to do something. Like, if I showed up, if I worked for the state, I worked for my local, government office, and I showed up in underwear and they fired me, I wouldn't then claim the state is forcing me to wear pants. No, I'm allowed to not wear pants. It's just if I want to work for this job, it requires a certain dress code. That is not the same thing in any way, shape, or form.
Although, given previous conversations I had with John, he'd be fine with that if the state's like, if you want to wear underwear to school, go for it. There's no dress codes. Dress codes are fashion.
Coming with the deep cuts.
No, it's because Heather and I went on a road trip several months ago, and we had this very same discussion here where she's like, yeah, TJ, you kind of have like a fashy view when it comes to school uniforms and stuff like that. Like dictating that kids have to wear the proper uniform. Like, no, I don't know. It's just like, I think it's weird. I think it's a weird conversation because you guys aren't the only ones I've heard this from, where that schools shouldn't have uniforms. They should wear whatever they want. And one, I think it's weird that, I don't know when school became like one of the primary goals for school is like your fashion expression. I don't give a shit about that. Like, for some reason, I'm supposed to care like that's important or anything. And there's nowhere on earth without a dress code. There isn't. Nude beaches, I guess. Like, there's like, you want to go to Walmart, there's a dress code. You want to go to court, there's a dress code. You want to go to work anywhere in the country, there's a dress code. I don't think school should be the exception. Yeah, there's a dress code here. You can't find a school that has no dress code. And so, Yeah, it's anyway, that's just off topic there because you brought up the underwear with school. But I wanted to shout out Steven on TikTok. He commented we were discussing Benghazi, and he said, "Yeah, but the movie is pretty cool. LMAO. Just got to know it's propaganda." John, I didn't see the Benghazi movie, but I am fully comfortable accepting that the movie was cool because a lot of propaganda movies are awesome. American Sniper, I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed American Sniper. Like, and Top Gun is a propaganda film. Top Gun 2 is all about attacking Iran. I mean, we should do a list of that. Oh, that'd be a good tier list for us, John. Our favorite military or like U.S. propaganda films that are super problematic but are good. The Patriot, it would be up there. I think we discussed The Patriot before. The Patriot's an amazing movie. Garbage historically, but movies don't need to be real.
Rocky 4, definitely up there. Like nothing.
Oh no!
Stump my chest and go full on red, white, and blue America.
Oh God!
Yeah. Like Rocky 4. That is the greatest. That was the superhero movie before superhero movies existed. I'm not going to say it's a better film than Rocky 1 or Rocky 2, but it's my favorite Rocky film, and it's because the propaganda fucking works.
Rocky 4 is not my favorite Rocky film, but it is the one that I like to watch the most. I mean, you know what I mean? If you got I think Rocky 1 is my favorite, but Rocky 4 is more fun to watch. It just is. I have to admit, it is more fun to watch. And I am rooting against Drago, the roided out Russian. Like, who does this guy think he is? I can't believe he killed the pop. Yeah, I'm with you. Like, that's a good one. We should show for the future, John. That's good for the propaganda shit.
Yeah, we are definitely doing that tier list next week, DJ. Like next week on the show, we are doing a tier list of best American propaganda films because there's a lot of really good ones.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. And oh God, something happened with my comments here. I can't see in them anymore because there's one that your screen keeps doing like this weird video.
I know. I'm sorry, guys. Everything's wrong. I'm echoing, even though it should be physically impossible for me to be echoing right now. I have no idea what's going on. My entire computer's fucked. Someone buy me a new computer is basically so that George Soros, I'm waiting on that check.
Oh no, Kyle says both of us are having audio issues. Is my audio sounding rough, John?
You've been fine for me, so I imagine it's just me.
Maybe it's your issue, Kyle. Maybe you should
maybe you should get better ears.
Invest in some decent headphones or something like that. But I saw someone write that. I don't see the comments anymore. I've lost it. But it wrote that I hope Kamala Harris runs again. She was the worst candidate in history or something like that. And I wanted to jump on that comment too. That I mean, I've seen worse candidates, I think, than Kamala Harris. I don't think she's the worst in history. And plus, she had a weird situation to walk into, I think. But none of us here hope Kamala Harris runs again. Like, this is the wrong show for that. I've actually seen people say that. I've actually seen people say that, oh yeah, I hope Kamala runs again. Like, oh no,
why would you want that?
Why would you want that? Look, and especially when we had this conversation with a lot of people after the election in 2024. And a lot of people said that the reason Kamala Harris lost was because of racism and sexism. And I said, listen, yeah, I'm not saying that didn't play a part or even a major part, but that can't be your takeaway from the election. Because if it is, then the only solution is don't run female candidates again. That would be the lesson to learn from that. If your conclusion is that the American populace is just too bigoted to elect a woman, okay, then stick with your guns. Then say what the solution is. Oh, guess we can't run any women. I don't think that's really the solution here. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I was going to say the implicit argument behind that is so fucking racist or sexist or a combination of both, however you want to put it, because Biden explicitly said that he wanted to choose a black woman or maybe a woman. I don't know if he specifically said black woman as his vice president, which great. I was all for that. I defended that decision. I was out there going, oh yeah, it makes sense. There are many people who are equally qualified to be vice president of the United States. Why not choose one from an underrepresented group in order to inspire more people to rise to their level, right? It's only a good thing if you're choosing among equally qualified candidates. That's why the same argument we make for DEI and all of that, right? And then liberal moderate Democrats started making the argument, oh, well, she just lost because of her race and gender, which would mean it was a mistake to implement a DEI-esque initiative. They are basically agreeing with the conservative position on why Kamala Harris shouldn't have been selected vice president, and then punching left. Like, it is absolutely insane when people say that, because they're rooting for the laundry too. I feel like the only explanation is that they're rooting for the laundry. They are not, just like the MAGA Republicans are. The people who say, oh, she was a great candidate, she ran a perfect campaign, she only lost because America was too racist. You're rooting for the laundry, guys. Like, I don't know what to tell you, because the only argument that can be derived from that is that we should never run a black woman ever again. And that's pretty fucking racist, if you ask me.
Yeah. And Hugh Jass brought up a question here. Do you think it was a mistake for Biden to announce ahead of time that he was planning on picking a black woman? Why not just do it without talking about it? I don't know about you, Don, but I agree. I agree. I don't see the value in saying that beforehand. I just don't. It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to pick a vice presidential candidate, and I'll let you know when it happens. And you let other people extrapolate from that. Make the Republican, because yeah, I think making the Republicans say, oh, well, he only picked her because she was a minority and that she was a woman, makes them sound worse than you come around saying, yeah, I did it for that reason. I don't see how that helps you at all. I don't see what points you gain. I don't see how it benefits you. It can only come back as a negative to bite you. Focusing on, well, I hate to use the term identity politics, because like I say, all politics is identity politics, but when you reduce things down to that level, you're kind of asking for that kind of criticism. It's not a surprise when it does happen.
Yeah, no, and that's the kind of thing that would have been nice to include in an autopsy of what went wrong with the Biden presidency and the 2024 election. Clear and obvious that Democrats were acting after, again, they barely won in 2020. Like, let's be very clear. You had Donald Trump, who I think we all agree on this side of the aisle is an incompetent idiot. And you barely beat the Republicans under his leadership. It should have been a unanimous decision. Our goal should have been to win every single election in the entire country, and one seat short should have been seen as a failure when it comes to competing against the Republican Party led by Donald Trump. The fact that they took the sign that they barely won a trifecta and went, we're going all in. We are the winners now. We are going to rule from the front as if we have this destiny to take over America. And we're going to say shit for the sake of saying shit to feed red meat to our base. Like, I'm going to nominate a black woman for, and this was even before they won, by the way. I'm going to nominate a black woman for vice president. There's no gain to be had there. There's no one that you are going to be convincing in the general that would be convinced by a black woman being vice president that isn't already voting for you. And you're just giving cannon fodder to your enemy. So there's no actual strategic reason to do it. Like you just said, you could have just done it. You could have just not, you could have nominated a black woman and not asked for people to thank you for it. It wasn't that complicated. But I swear to God, from 2020 to 2024, Democrats thought that they were the cultural dominant force, and they were very, very wrong about that. And it was obvious to everyone else, but they couldn't see it.
Yeah. I don't know. I have some of that in me too. I thought that Trump's election in 2016 was kind of a fluke. I thought that it just happened to be a confluence of unfortunate events, that Hillary Clinton had 30 years of political baggage. Trump was this interesting character that people didn't really take seriously. And I thought that, the collapse of the paradigm of the way we thought the world was like the liberal established order that, of course the Democrats are going to take control if they have it in the back. I was under that delusion too, actually. I thought Harris was going to win in 2024. I've had to reevaluate a lot about how I view the American public and everything. So I can see how they made that mistake, but you can't afford to keep making these mistakes. Now you should learn. You should definitely know by now that you can't rest on your laurels like this. That I mean, what did Ronald Reagan always say? Ronald Reagan always said that like freedom is always just one generation from being taken away from you, and it's true. And you know, I never thought it'd be taken away in this like hilariously absurd way, you know, with Donald Trump, you know, leaving the nation. Did you see? Oh, Megyn Kelly. Did you see Megyn Kelly talk about Trump's corruption with the Hodge twins, of all people? Did you see
So
that?
I saw the headlines there. If you're pulling it up, please.
Yeah, I'll look for it. Yeah.
I would love to watch it. And I just wanted to respond to DA while you did that. So DA says if Dems wanted a black female, they should have picked anyone else besides Harris. She was literally terrible. And I agree. Like, if you wanted a woman of color to be vice president, Elizabeth Warren was sitting right there. Like, I don't know why.
John, I'm trying to look for something. You can't make me laugh like that.
I was hoping you would have found it by the time I hit the punchline because I knew.
Oh God, that's hilarious. That's so funny. Okay, I did find it, but Elizabeth Warren, that's another like Liv thing right there. Livs love to like. There are certain people you can't question. There are certain people that you're being rude if you actually say. And this is one of the things where I defended Donald Trump when Donald Trump was being called a racist. He is, but when people were saying that Trump was a racist for calling Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas, no, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Like, she had it coming. I would have said the same thing. That if she would have claimed that she was a Native American, it turns out she wasn't. Yeah, it's fair game. That's on her. It's more racist for her to write a cookbook called Pow Wow Chow because she's supposedly Native American than for him to call her Pocahontas. But all right, here we go. This is Megyn Kelly, shocked to discover that there's gambling in this establishment. Okay, here we go.
I have to be honest, I didn't expect the corruption to be quite as, widespread as it's been, and like the self-dealing and the lining of his and his family's pockets. Like, that's been a little shocking.
Talking
and
billions
I just
of dollars.
didn't expect Trump to be so disrespectful of his base.
Right. Well, you know what, Megan? I got to push back a little bit because Trump didn't take a salary while he's president. So I don't know what you're talking about.
I have to pause. That is the first time I've heard one of the Hodge twins say something funny. That was like this is the counter moment for. I've been aware of the Hodge twins for quite some time. That was a legitimately funny comment he made right there. But okay, here we go.
Trump didn't take a salary while he's president. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Right. I mean, you look at like across the board of the Trump family. I've never seen a family get so rich off of a presidency.
Right.
And it happened at the same time as we now have a Supreme Court ruling that basically says any official act he takes while in the White House is protected.
Right.
And those two things are, seem to be giving him some sort of a hall pass that could very much get abused. I don't want to, say he's crossed the line legally because I actually haven't taken a close look at that. But, he's done a lot that pushes it right up to the line. And I just don't think we want our residents or their families getting rich off of the presidency. And I really want to know more about all these trades that are happening on Iran right before he makes the announcements. Like, this is not the way it's supposed to be. Even one of those would have caused a massive scandal 12, 13 years ago. We shouldn't be so far afield that like these obvious ethical questions get skirted past with just a shoulder shrug, because it does matter.
Okay, I want to get your opinion on this, John, but I have to say, her saying that, anything like this would have been a massive scandal 12, 13 years ago. Try 3 years ago. All right, try when Joe Biden was in office and you had every Republican in the country screaming their head off that Joe Biden supposedly used his position as vice president to get his son a job in Europe, and that those dealings led to kickbacks from like for profits that were like 1 millionth of what Trump does in your face every single day out in the open. Making the Secret Service stay at his hotels, doing that before his inauguration, opening up cryptocurrencies that were invested by foreign population, by foreigners, to millions upon millions of dollars, knowing that he would soon be in position to repay these people back. Obvious scam after obvious scam after obvious scam. And she's like, yeah, it's just really surprising. I don't want to say he's done anything illegal. They know he has. They know he has. And this is Ann Coulter. I wish I could find the clip of Ann Coulter. I remember her saying this months ago, saying, "Yeah, Trump is clearly the most corrupt president in American history. Like openly corrupt. No one fucking cares on the Republican side. They don't care. They like the fact that he's looting the treasury. They like the fact that he's awarded himself $1.776 billion to spend as he so chooses. They like the fact that his family is getting billion-dollar deals with the Saudis. They love it. They see it as their guy getting one over on the system. Hearing her complain about it is kind of fresh and kind of hilarious because like you knew this was coming, Megan.
So I mean, it is this coming, Megan. And by the way, TJ, I'm convinced that the echo is on your side somehow. That you have a speaker or something, or your other headphone is too close to the mic or something. Because I was also hearing the Hodge twins echo. But the point I'm making here is that Megyn Kelly might be among the conservative pundits the one with the least scruples. She might be the one who gives the least shit about whatever her beliefs are and will just be whoever her audience desires her to be. You've seen her jump all around from Fox. She went to MSNBC. She went, and she's never really stuck anywhere because she doesn't have anything to say. I remember when she left Fox, I was excited about her because at Fox, I had respect for her. Yeah. I thought she was very good at what she did at Fox. Now, that makes her a bad person, but it does mean that she's worthy of respect. And I thought that when she flipped sides, she would go hardcore, balls out, total scathing of the Republicans and go, I was joking the entire time. I was just playing you guys for fools over on Fox because that's what they wanted me to do. Here's all the shit that really happened. And she didn't do it because she doesn't want to burn the bridges and she wants to be able to pivot to whatever she needs to pivot to at any time. The fact that she's pivoting to an anti-Trump stance shows where her audience is at, shows where that section of conservatives is at. And it's to the point where taking a blatantly Donald Trump is the most corrupt president in U.S. history stance on Megyn Kelly's show is what is beneficial to Megyn Kelly. And that is really damning for the Trump administration. Maybe more so than any sort of election results we've been seeing, maybe more so than any sort of approval rating polls that we've been seeing. The fact that it is now in vogue for far-right pundits and influencers to be blatantly attacking Donald Trump, that should be seen as a canary in the coal mine for his administration. And they do not act like it matters.
Does it? For his administration?
100%. Because if Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens and name any other conservative pundit here are no longer backing the administration, it's not because they have morals, TJ. It's not because Donald Trump finally did something that broke the line and they decided they needed to take a stand. No, it's because they are able to read the tea leaves. They're able to see, oh shit, I'm reading all the comments with my thousands and thousands of hours of hyper-conservative viewers, and they are turning on Trump, so I need to too. And that signals a really big problem. I mean, we know that they're going to get cooked in the midterms, but he's not going to have Congress anymore to rubber stamp all of his bullshit, and he's going to be a lame duck president who can't do anything about it. Like that's probably what's going to happen, and that is a scary thought. Not that doesn't mean it's over. That doesn't mean we're out of the clear here. A lame dunk Donald Trump can still do a lot of damage, but I do think it's basically over for him in this phase of his presidency where he can do whatever he wants.
I guess that's true. I mean, he can still do a ton of damage, I guess, but he's still going to be president. Nothing's going to change that. But I think Trump's popularity is waning. I think that is crashing. That's true. But the damage that's going to be done, through the nation's psyche and through the government, I think that he can still wield a whole lot of power that way. Trump, in fact, most of Trump's actions haven't even been through Congress in the first place, actually. Congress gets pretty much nothing done at all with the Republicans in power. With Republicans being out of power, I don't know.
But Congress could prevent a lot of his actions, and they do not. Like, they could pass the War Powers Resolution, and they aren't doing it. You know, like they do have the power to rein him in. While they haven't done much for him besides the big beautiful bill, they have not used their power to stop him, and that will end come November. Or I guess January, whenever they get sworn in.
Yeah, January. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to. Did you see Candace Owens talking with Hunter Biden? Did you see that?
No, I did not at all.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can put. This may or may not be the clip I was looking for. Let me see. This is. They sat down and had a whole little interview on it, and let me see if I can pull this up here. I think John will like this.
So the FBI has had physical possession of Hunter Biden's laptop, which reportedly contains, well, a lot of disturbing material.
You have access to that actual laptop.
A jury found Hunter Biden guilty of 3 felony gun charges.
I said I abide by the jury decision. I will do that, and I will not pardon him.
Oopsies. He lied. He pardoned a crackhead. Hunter Biden. Welcome to the Candace Owens Show.
I've heard you call me a crackhead many times, and the truth of the matter is, I was a crackhead. The quote-unquote laptop, which, by the way, you know what the laptop proved?
That you were a crackhead.
There you go. My marriage fell apart, and it just started a really, really dark cycle. My brother called me and said, this has got to stop. And it forced me into a choice. And the choice was, do I get out of bed and live, or do I die?
DC is corrupt. Politics is corrupt.
But something's changed, Candace. It's not left or right. The DC elite of the left, they crushed my dad because he was never part of that club. He was never part of the Epstein class. You know one thing he didn't do? He didn't greenlight to turn Gaza into a Trump golf course with the maitre d' being Jared Kushner. War in Iran that they started, that every president before him was pressured by the Israelis.
And I do think there was something about the Charlie Kirk assassination that everyone just sort of looked up.
They're the people that Charlie Kirk made. The level of disloyalty or fear, I don't know what it is. And the criticism of you for asking the questions for someone who was like a brother to you, it's like, what the F are you talking about? I listen to you and I go, right on. The Acts of John, there is a thing that Christ says, you must learn to suffer as I do in order to be able not to suffer. And that is the greatest lesson of everything.
This didn't have the clip I was looking for, and let me see. I'm pretty sure it's in here somewhere. But what are your thoughts on what you saw there, John? Just from that, I guess.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's a good play by Hunter Biden.
Yeah,
I mean, like why not? You know, it's a great play by Candace Owens. It's done very well, very funny. When he was like, and I was a crackhead, and endearing. Like I like Hunter Biden, having watched that more now, and I continue to like Candace Owens. I think Candace Owens is the best conservative pundit out there at the moment, besides Tucker. And then there's a big gap after them. Like it just makes sense. It's a coup for Candace to get Hunter because that's genius marketing.
Genius. You know who else likes Hunter Biden a whole lot? Candace Owens, it seems. Look at the chemistry between these two at the end of the interview.
And I've stopped with this left versus right, Democrat versus Republican. I'm like, this is sheer evil versus good.
By the way,
this is like sheer evil.
But by the way, for real, exactly.
Like I'm
exactly.
Like,
it is good versus evil.
Yeah.
They have torn the mask off of this. I said to you before, is that I pray to God that by the end of this, that you think of me as a friend, because if anything ever happened to me, I want you and Melissa team up. Like, oh my God.
It's not, and I've stopped with this left versus right.
All right. So John, you were a notorious Lothario before your married days. I can tell when two people have fucked, okay? I can tell whether either they have or they did shortly after. I've never seen such chemistry between two people like that in a long time. And yeah, I just want to put that on the record there. If there was a poly market thing out there, have Hunter Biden and Candace Owens gotten on, I'm making that bet right now. That actually happened.
it's funny, TJ, because I had that thought watching the first clip. I was like, yeah. The reason that he's on Candace Owens' show is because one or both of them want to fuck.
Yeah.
And it was very clear just from watching the sizzle reel, the chemistry that was there. That clip, oh yeah, when he grabs her hand and shuts her up,
John,
and shut her up, and she just shut her mouth. That was so impressive, and she even does a little like blink, like
she did, yeah,
and it worked. And he just had the sauce. You gotta call a spade a spade.
He does. And Colby appreciated it. He says, that's what I see when I watch you guys. I appreciate that. One thing before we wrap up real quick. Hugh Jass, if you're still here, I saw you asked about the Costco thing, and then you wrote, you guys never get my references. What's up with the Costco thing? We got 5 minutes here.
Is there something going on with Costco?
Yeah, I don't know. Like he said, you guys don't get my references, and I don't know what the Costco thing is there. But no, yeah, that Candace Owens thing and Hunter Biden. And look, it shouldn't be surprising. If there's two people from like radically different sides who I would bet would get it on, those two seem like great candidates right here. People keep arguing.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, Hunter Biden is a charismatic dude. He's someone who has skated by his whole life on charisma and connections. He knows how to play that game, And Candace Owens is someone who's always been on the outside. She's had to teach herself charisma, and she has over time. But she wasn't as charismatic as she is now. A couple years ago, like she has taught herself that, and she's always had a chip on her shoulder, and he just lifted it right off of her shoulder, and you can
melted it away, man.
It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. I'm glad you picked up on it too.
She did not have a chance, man. Didn't have a chance. It was over. Hunter dog cooking meth video was funny. I don't know, but all right. Any last thoughts here, John? This was an interesting experiment. Well, I don't know what's up with the TikTok thing. This didn't go how I planned, but maybe it's I don't know. We'll mess around with it.
TikTok failed. We might need to, like, if we want to make TikTok a thing, we might have to just focus on the TikTok.
Just do the TikTok thing.
I don't think that we. I don't think both works, but I think we can do the TikTok. So maybe we'll do a show, and we'll post an announcement on this channel for the regular viewers of Left Wing on YouTube that we're just going to be on TikTok one of these Tuesdays.
Yeah.
And we'll figure it out that way, because this ain't working.
Yeah, because I have 6 viewers on TikTok. I don't think it's ever happened before. That is a single digit. That's insane. But anyway, good times. It was a good test run. I'm glad we did it.
Coconuts Are Real. He subbed, like you guys. Thank you, Coconuts Are Real. And Coconuts Are Real, I'm pretty sure he was on the opposite side of us for a lot of it. And that's always when we always talk about the reasonable conservatives. Like, if you're able to poke fun at yourselves, we can talk with you. If you stand by all of the bullshit, it's going to be difficult to talk to you. So very much appreciate the sub. I saw a lot of new people in there, so I definitely like and subscribe if you haven't. And we're usually here on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6:30.
Appreciate it. I want to put a shout out to Elliot Portis on TikTok. Says, I love your post, and I'm sad I could only watch the end of this live. Well, appreciate you joining, Elliot. You got to do it for Elliot next time. But
will you be around on Tuesday, TJ? 6:30?
Tuesday I'll be here. Yes, sir.
6:35 EST. Be here on Tuesday, and we'll be here with you. See you then.
All right. Catch you guys later. Bye. This is so funny.